one of the most talented guards in the country.
These teams have met once this season. You see Howard averaging just under 20 points per game, fourth in the SEC. Boston, 4 straight double-doubles. First meeting back on January 10th. Kentucky won it 75-70. And it's South Carolina who wins the tip. Henderson dumps it inside, and good D on the interior from Kentucky, coming up with the stop on Saxton.
Really good help defense on that first possession by Kentucky, and man-to-man. Anytime South Carolina gets the ball in the paint, you will see help come.
You see the starting lineup for Kentucky. Third straight start for Massengill, as that jumper short, rebound taken in by Boston. The starting lineup for South Carolina. 𝗿𝗲𝗱𝘆 moves into the starting lineup on Seniors Day in Columbia. And Bree Beal will come off the bench for the Gamecocks, as that three is too strong from Henderson. The rebound, 𝗿𝗏𝗱 can't put it in, and secured by 𝗀𝗏𝗄 McKinney for Kentucky.
And South Carolina didn't come away with a score, but that's where they earn their living, getting to the offensive glass, second and third opportunities.
See Massengill running the point, handing it off to Howard. Kyra Elzy making that switch so that Chastity Patterson could play more off the ball and have more scoring opportunities, with Massengill running the point. And Blair Green moving to the bench for Kentucky. On the attack, the layup won't go for Cook, but she's fouled. And Zia Cook is going to shoot 2. And I believe that foul was against Howard. And that is an early personal on Ryan Howard.
It's good to see Zia Cook attacking the rim. This is a player who's had some struggles on the offensive end of the floor with her shooting and scoring. Always good for her to get feet in the paint and eyes on the rim.
Talking with Dawn Staley, and she said that Zia Cook is pressing to score right now. Just needs to relax. Needs to take less dribbles, make layups. The making layups thing was not exclusive to Zia Cook for what Dawn Staley's looking for.
South Carolina has struggled to make layups for a lot of the season, including in their last game, the loss to Tennessee. There's another one.
Right here, yeah, 𝗿𝗏𝗱𝘆 missing 2 in a row. No score yet, 2 minutes into this first quarter. Here is Howard. The handle, so beautiful. Got it back. Dragging Saxton out. South Carolina 0 of 6 to start. Kentucky 0 for 3. Howard, patient. Gets the screen. Step back 3 gets rejected and controlled by South Carolina. An opportunity in transition, and once again, Cook is fouled. She will shoot 2 after just missing her first 2 from the line.
This is a South Carolina team this season that has struggled from the free throw line, only shooting 66%. Zia Cook in the first meeting, 7 points on 2 of 12 field goals.
Dawn Staley in her 13th season at the helm of South Carolina has called this team probably the most committed defensive team she has ever coached. South Carolina coming off a loss to Tennessee, though, 75-67. And the first points of the game come at the line for Zia Cook. We welcome all of you watching on ESPN. First quarter action between Kentucky and South Carolina. Ryan Ruocco, the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, happy to be with you on this Sunday afternoon for the SEC on ESPN. Second meeting of the season between these teams. South Carolina took the first, 75-70. back on January 10th. Both teams having a tough time finding an offensive rhythm early here, Rebecca.
Yeah, South Carolina's gotten some really good looks, though. They've gotten in the paint. They have just missed some of the shots that they've gotten in there. Ryan Howard has not yet found her rhythm offensively.
Nice bounce pass underneath, and Edwards is fouled. So Dre'Ana Edwards is going to shoot two. Dawn Staley hoping to take her team to a third Final Four in her tenure. South Carolina team that's been ranked twice this season as #1, has 6 wins versus top 25 teams, but had its 31-game SEC win streak snapped on Thursday by Tennessee. What stood out to you, Rebecca, about that loss by South Carolina against Tennessee?
Some of the turnovers that they had, and also they had a lot of layups in that game, Ryan, that they were not able to convert, missed some free throws as well. And Tennessee was a team, they were able to be equal with points in the paint to South Carolina, equal on the boards, and those are two categories that South Carolina normally dominates their opponents.
That's out of bounds off of Edwards, going to stay with South Carolina. Meanwhile, 𝗀𝗲𝗆𝗆 has done a wonderful job her first season as the head coach of Kentucky, promoted from interim head coach on December 14th. Her 9th season with the program was broken up in between with a little stint at Tennessee. But her first year as the head coach of Kentucky, and right now the 17th ranked team in the nation, as Cook hits from 3, an early 5-3 South Carolina lead, 4 minutes into the first. Dangerous pass, retrieved by Massengill. Has to flip it up, couldn't get it to go, and Boston secures it for South Carolina. Here's Henderson blazing to the bucket, left it short. Grissett can't finish, but is fouled, and Lily Grissett is going to shoot two.
You saw really good defensive possession on the other end by South Carolina. That's what they do so well, and then they get the defensive board, push the other way. They are so good in transition. Dawn Staley said, the games we've lost, our opponent has prevented us from getting out and running.
And when we asked 𝗀𝗄𝗆, and when I say we, it was really you who asked this question, Rebecca, but you know I like to take credit for the things that you do. So when we asked Coach 𝗆𝗆 about, how does she know if it's going to be a good day for her team, she said, when we start with defensive intensity, when I see us diving on the floor, making hustle plays, and we have seen that to begin this game for Kentucky.
Yeah, and then they've had their scouting report on. They're switching the screens. They want to switch.
And one thing they've done, gives it up.
And the thing they've done really well, Ryan, is keep the ball out of Aaliyah Boston's hands. She does not have a field goal attempt yet.
I believe that was a 3-second violation called against Kentucky. And Edwards, so Kentucky turns it over. They are still just 1 of 6 from the floor. South Carolina is 1 of 9. And a whistle here against Kentucky. And that foul is going to be against Robin Benton, and off the bench for Kentucky. Right now, Benton, McKinney, Green, Howard, and Edwards are the 5 for Kentucky. Cook, Boston, Saxon, Littleton, and Grissett for South Carolina, as Boston got fouled. And it's either number 2 on Benton or number 2 on Howard. So a big call here against Kentucky. South Carolina, an early 6-3 lead. They ended up calling the foul on McKinney instead.
Hey man, what you got there?
Hey, I switched to Spectrum Mobile, got a new phone. It's crazy. No contract, no added taxes, no hidden fees, nothing.
Bet it feels great to not have to hide stuff.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty liberating.
I'm bald, Dave.
I haven't read any of the books in my house.
I didn't forget about your lawnmower. I broke it.
It's not even mine. I took it from Jake.
He's the worst.
It's better when you don't hide stuff. So Spectrum Mobile has no added taxes, no hidden fees, and no contracts. It's a better way to mobile. Spectrum Mobile.
A massive star matchup today.
Yeah, two of the best players in the country, and it starts with Rhyne Howard, a 6'2" versatile guard. She can score from all three levels, 36% from three, has a mid-range game and can get inside as well. And then for South Carolina, Aaliyah Boston, the 6'5" center. She has an imposing presence on the defensive end of the floor. 4 blocks per game in conference, has extended her range out to 3, and an absolute nightmare to deal with when she gets the ball in the paint.
Rhyne Howard, 4th in the SEC in scoring. Aaliyah Boston, 4 straight double-doubles. Rebecca, these are two players who are competing for some significant hardware as we get towards the end of this season.
Yeah, two of the leading candidates for SEC Player of the Year, both in strong conversation for National Player of the Year. You see
Their
what
last
they did.
meeting, yeah, I mean, they both put up big-time games. Boston had 7 blocks to go with the 20 and 12.
And Boston in that matchup had minutes limited in the first half because of foul trouble.
Here couldn't finish. A 7-3 South Carolina lead. They're 4 of 8 from the line, 1 of 11 from the floor. South Carolina with 7 offensive rebounds already in this game. The foul line jumper is good for Blair Green. Off the bench for a 3rd straight game since 𝗀𝗲𝗄𝗆 shook up her starting lineup.
And that's what exactly what 𝗀𝗲𝗄𝗆 needs is point production from that position. Great start for Green on her first touch.
Littleton gets it over to Brissett. Here with 7 to shoot. Pushes it up and in. A welcome sign for South Carolina, who has not gotten much to go. Here had a nice contribution on January 10th. 10 points on 5 of 9 shooting in the win against Kentucky. Edwards nearly lost it. Got it back. Looking off the pass and then denied. Olivia Owens gets rejected by Aaliyah Boston.
And that's what Aaliyah Boston brings, is such a defensive presence inside. Here comes the help side, smacking it out. That's where Owens should have passed to the right corner and let Green take an open look from 3.
Owens, jab step, jumper, no.
Last possession for South Carolina, it looked like they were trying to work the ball around and get Boston a touch. They have not been able to get her the ball on post-ups.
Cook through the lane, met a body, and that foul's going to go against Olivia Owens. Hey, tomorrow it's Big Monday on ESPN. First up at 7. Syracuse is at Cameron Indoor to take on Duke, and then at 9 p.m., number 15 Texas Tech faces Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. Well, one thing we have seen Zia Cook do early here is get to the line. Cook shooting her 5th and 6th free throws of this opening quarter.
In the first matchup between these teams, South Carolina was only 13 of 21 from the free throw line. They have struggled from there this season.
In transition, Owens couldn't handle it, and Kentucky coughs it up.
With the way Kentucky's struggling to score in this first quarter, Ryan, you cannot afford on transition opportunities to lose your advantage. They've not been able to get things going in the half court.
And 𝗀𝗲𝗄𝗆𝗆's team does not turn it over often. Only Arkansas turns it over less in the SEC than Kentucky. That is going to be a travel, as Laetitia Amihere could not quite find her footing, so South Carolina gives it back. Dawn Staley's team looking to bounce. Yeah, it's been a little tough thus far, hasn't it, Rebecca?
Yeah, 22% for Kentucky, 17% for South Carolina. Ugly first quarter so far.
Just means things can only go up from here.
That's right.
The step back three. You see, 𝘀𝗻𝗃 Patterson knew what we were talking about.
That's a player who can really fill it up, and she has been able to focus more on that with Massengill in the starting lineup now as the point guard.
And you saw the three-point numbers pop up there. I mean, they have really been good from Patterson of late. As that putback is good, plus the foul, Victoria Saxton a chance for three.
8th offensive rebounds for South Carolina, and that's where they can be so good, is when they're struggling to score, they get second opportunities and third opportunities, and it's their bigs inside, their guards get involved as well.
Rebound taken on the missed free throw by Kentucky. South Carolina now 5 of 11 from the line. Patterson dishes into the corner. A three for Green is short. Rebound by Amihir, racing up the floor in transition. Here is Beal coming off the bench in this game. Can't spin it in. Rebound secured by Kiki McKinney. Patterson underneath. The patience and the finish from Olivia Owens.
And for Kentucky, defensively, you have to get back in defensive transition, but they don't want to slow down the pace offensively. When they have those opportunities to run, 𝘀𝗻𝗄𝗆 wants them to take them.
Pull-up jumper is good from Zia Cook. Cook now with 8 points in this first quarter. She is the game's leading scorer. Averaging just under 16 points per game this season. Massengill sizing up the defense. Howard getting a breather right now for Kentucky. Patterson has the switch, sliding into the paint and floating it home.
A really nice job by Patterson. When she saw Amihir on her, she was still able to get the space and get the floater up there.
South Carolina had a 2-for-1 opportunity as that shot won't go. Out of bounds. Off of, it looked like it last hit Amihir, but they're going to say it is South Carolina ball, and that is what Kiki McKinney was upset about.
Yeah, it looked to me that it went off of Amihir and that it should be Kentucky ball.
So now a 10-second difference, game and shot clock. Henderson working around a screen from Saxton. Got it to her on the block, couldn't finish. The follow won't go. Loose ball batted around, taken by Kentucky. Massengill navigated around a few, and Patterson just missed the layup. The follow won't go from Wyatt. 1 second left in the quarter, and that will do it as Beal's attempt is short. South Carolina, a 2-point lead after one.
Going back and forth, the backcourt's getting it done for both teams. Zia Cook with 8 points for South Carolina. Than I can ever remember it being, at least in recent years, in terms of the favorites to get to the Final Four, the favorites to win a national championship. I can't wait for March. It's going to be exciting, Ryan.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. San Antonio is up for grabs. Take a look at what's transpired thus far. Neither team shooting well. South Carolina had 10 offensive rebounds in the first as Massengill buries the three. And we have seen the offensive production balloon for Massengill since joining the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big guard, 6 feet with size. She's got a high basketball IQ, making the most of her increased opportunities.
Henderson guarded by Massengill. Double comes on Boston, now a triple. Passes out of it, 5 to shoot. Pull-up jumper, rolls off for Cook, and another offensive rebound for South Carolina. The foul on the floor here is going to be against 𝗀𝗀_McKinney, her second.
Ryan, I think that touch by Aaliyah Boston is the first time she's gotten her hands on the basketball in the paint outside of the offensive rebound that she got early. You see all the defensive attention she's going to get. She's a good passer out of double teams. South Carolina has got to give her more touches inside.
And that was something that Dawn Staley was frustrated with in the loss to Tennessee, feeling like her team didn't do a good enough job of getting Boston touches, as Dawn Staley having a conversation with Bree Beal right now after she checked out of the game. Meanwhile, this foul that just occurred is number 2 on Ryan Howard. So that is a very significant foul. And Howard is going to check out for Kentucky. She has not scored yet in this half.
She had 2 quick shots early in the game, has not shot the ball since then, and that's one you just got to let go. It's not worth putting you on the bench to try to contest a 2. Just let it go.
You know, you think about it, Rebecca. Boston has scored just 1 point thus far. Howard has not scored yet. Either team probably would feel pretty decent about what's on the scoreboard right now, given the limited production they've gotten so far from their stars.
Dawn Staley's going to feel better, though, because her star is still on the floor without foul trouble.
That's a great point. McKinney, Howard, and Edwards all with 2 fouls now for Kentucky. Patterson slips it out. Massengill, short. Rebound hugged by Cook. Zia Cook, good dribble penetration. Saxton on the block. Gets the whistle and the bucket. Victoria Saxton a chance for 3.
There has been 1 foul called on South Carolina this game. This is the 9th on Kentucky. Why is that? Well, South Carolina is looking to get inside. They're getting to the paint. They're getting to the offensive glass. They're forcing the refs to blow the whistle.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, Rebecca, not to totally put you on the spot, but I mean, that's a grand disparity, but does it feel appropriate because of what's happening on the interior, or does it feel excessive?
Well, I was going to add, and they're playing at home. But, you know, the style with which you play forces the officials' hands sometimes. And South Carolina has been in attack mode. They've gotten to the offensive glass. They've created contact, and it's resulted in calls and getting to the free throw line.
That is going to be Kentucky basketball after the missed free throw. I mean, South Carolina has left a lot to be desired at the free throw line right now. They are 7 for 14 from the line. And a whistle here against South Carolina. So there's one, Rebecca.
There you go. And keep in mind, when Ryan Howard is on the floor for Kentucky, she is not only their leading scorer, but she facilitates. She draws so much attention. She finds other players so that they can score. Well, now it's a very different look for Kentucky offensively when Howard is on the bench with foul trouble. They're playing through Chastity Patterson now, sending a lot of on-ball screens for her, letting her create.
Wyatt gets it back into the arms of Patterson, and Boston secures the rebound. 5th rebound for Boston, who does not have a field goal attempt yet in this game. How about Lily Grissett knifing through traffic to finish?
Lily Grissett has played really well in this game. She got the start because it's senior day. She played great defensively on Ryan Howard, and she's been active offensively here as well.
Foul there against Grissett, and that will be her first.
Lily Grissett has been a player this season who's been consistent providing energy off the bench. A big guard, she drives, gets inside, and scores. She's done a really nice job here in her first start of the season.
Massengill over to Patterson, guarded by Destiny Henderson. Patterson finds Wyatt on the jumper, too strong. Rebound left for South Carolina and Destiny Littleton. Sachs to the deep catch, finds the cutter and Grissett for the easy finish. And Kentucky needs a timeout. It's an 8-0 run for South Carolina.
South Carolina playing unselfish basketball. When they get paint touches, good things happen. Grissett getting it going.
We see a vast desert of sand with distant hazy mountains. On a dusty road, a black car travels at speed. A man walks to the top of a large dune. He turns his head. Behind him, a band of armored vehicles waits to spring a trap.
Well, he's in trouble.
What happened? At Spectrum, we think nothing beats movie night.
The man gives the signal to attack.
So the Spectrum Access app gives the visually impaired audio description on their phone, so nobody misses a thing.
Okay.
I mean, I have to say, the bug graphics, they're unbelievable.
No.
We see a vast desert of sand with distant hazy mountains. On a dusty road, a black car travels at speed. A man walks to the top of a large dune. He turns his head. Behind him, a band of armored vehicles waits to spring a trap.
Well, he's in trouble.
What happened? At Spectrum, we think nothing beats movie night.
The man gives the signal to attack.
So the Spectrum Access app gives the visually impaired audio description on their phone, so nobody misses a thing.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. South Carolina, 7-point lead here, under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter, as that little floater won't go on the attempt from Robin Benton. Foul trouble, an issue for Kentucky, and this is why. I mean, every single touch in the paint for South Carolina is resulting in a whistle as Olivia Owens picks up her second foul. So Owens, Howard, Edwards, McKinney, all with 2 fouls, and South Carolina has just dominated the glass. You see those numbers so far today.
South Carolina's done a really good job pushing pace. They've done a really good job of getting paint touches off of dribble drives, and then when we've missed shots, offensive boards, got into the free throw line. And Ryan, you and I were talking in the commercial break. Do you put Ryan Howard back in the game? You see she is back in now. The issue is the way the game is being officiated right now. You really worry about her picking up her 3rd foul.
10-0 South Carolina run. This is their largest lead. Yeah, analytics are driving more and more towards leaving players in, but you're right, Rebecca. In this singular instance, I mean, the whistles are coming nearly every touch in the paint for South Carolina. That step back 3, or make it a long 2, is good for Robin Benton. Up ahead, Grissett can't finish it. Rebound secured by Edwards. By the way, that run did coincide with Howard leaving, so understandably, 𝗀𝗲 𝗍𝗆 wanted her back in, and now good things have started to happen with Howard back on the floor.
Benton a score, and then Edwards with the points. And now Kentucky in a zone defense. This is primarily to protect Howard from picking up that 3rd foul here in the second quarter.
Boston has yet to get a field goal attempt in this first half. Henderson with a shot clock winding, able to hit. Nice little jump stop into the jumper.
One more time.
You like jump stop into the jumper?
Very much.
Syllabically, it's the same, even though when we break down the actual words, we know it's not. The things you learn from Eminem. Super Tuesday on ESPN is a battle in the Big 12 as number 23 Kansas squares off against number 12 Texas and Austin. 9 p.m. on ESPN. Their first meeting, the Longhorns handed Kansas its largest home defeat in the Bill Self era. We'll see what happens in matchup number 2 there. Meanwhile, Dawn Staley actively directing traffic. Her team leading by 7 with under 5 minutes to go in this second. South Carolina started the game 4 for 20 from the floor, but they are 4 of 5 since.
But they still got to the free throw line. They still got fouls to accrue on Kentucky. I mean, they are so good getting themselves second opportunities by getting to the offensive glass.
Now a steal. Benton, met by Grissett, squeezes it over to Massengill. Massengill looking for help. Finding it in Howard, who is fouled. Ryan Howard's yet to score in this first half. I don't think anyone would have had the over-under in point total between Boston and Howard as being 1 with 4:35 to go in the second.
I'd like to see her going to get the basketball on this past possession, though, because if you're in the game with foul trouble, you're in there to make things happen on the offensive end. The last 2 possessions, she did not get touches. You still have to play through Ryan Howard and let her make the decisions.
Edwards tried the crossover. Boston was not having it. Loose ball scraped up by Massengill. Her jumper short. Rebound flicked into the arms of Boston. 7 rebounds now for Boston as Mihir gets rejected by Howard. 3-on-1 developing. Poor pass from Massengill. Went behind Benton. And again, Rebecca, that's what you're talking about, missed opportunity in transition.
Yeah, and right afterwards, Massengill pointed at Howard, like recognizing, yes, you were there. I should have gone left with the basketball instead of right.
Boston finally gets a field goal attempt. Can't hit. Another offensive rebound for South Carolina. Cook misses the 3, and this time it's secured by McKinney.
But those are the threes you want. Off the offensive board, on a catch and shoot.
And a carry called there against Howard. Went for the hezzy, and it was not accepted. Sometimes the hezzy's so good that it can look like a carry, and then sometimes it is a carry. Boston on the block, surrounded, tried to squeeze it up, could not. Another chance, though, for South Carolina. Against that Kentucky zone. Henderson, a 3 is good.
South Carolina now 2 for 4 from the three-point line, and so many teams pack it inside, daring them to shoot. And when South Carolina struggles, they struggle from the three-point line as well.
Lead back to 10. Kick ball is going to keep it here.
Nice job by Aaliyah Boston reversing the basketball. The defense is late. Henderson able to drain the 3. She has shot well in her last few games, including from the three-point line.
Was 50% from 3 in her last 3 and connects on that one there.
Spectrum Mobile has 5G nationwide included in every plan with no added fees.
I love 5G.
Do you even know what it is?
Colloquially known as 5G, it delivers higher multi-gigabit per second peak data speeds with ultra-low latency and massive service capacity. Oh yeah!
Who are you?
Just a smart boy with some bags.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm impressed.
I may have read your diary, nerd.
For nationwide 5G included in every plan, get Spectrum Mobile.
Getting really good at this.
Senior Day in South Carolina. You see the limited capacity of fans on hand to watch the Gamecocks have a 29-19 lead over Kentucky. 2:47 to go in this second quarter. Nice inbound, frees up McKinney for the lay.
You mentioned Senior Day. Lily Grissett, the senior for South Carolina. She's been great. She's been really good offensively, defensively as well. It's a player saying, all right, I got the start because it's Senior Day, but I want to get the start in the next game and the game after that. And Bree Beal is the player who, coming off the bench now as a result of that, has only played 4 minutes here in the first half because Grissett has been so good.
Now that was number 3 on Edwards. Fouling Boston also puts South Carolina in the bonus. So 3 on Edwards, 2 on Owens, 2 on McKinney, 2 on Howard. Edwards will check out with her third, and Boston is going to go to the line. She's 0 for 2 from the floor, 1 for 2 from the line. Rebecca, what in particular are you seeing from Kentucky that is preventing Boston from getting the normal attempts that we see?
They're flooding the paint. They're surrounding Aaliyah Boston. They're trying to keep the basketball out of her hands, whether they were in the man D, and there's another offensive rebound. But whether Kentucky's been in man or zone, and I think sometimes South Carolina needs to be more patient and more deliberate at trying to get Boston the touches. South Carolina is not a great passing team. They're not a great team passing into the post.
Howard buries the 3. First points of the game for Ryan Howard. Grissett inside, can't finish. Rebound Howard. Does she get a little something cooking now? Howard gives it up to the corner. Patterson, the kick. Straight on 3, no.
Good offense, though, by Kentucky. They worked it. They got a paint touch. They get an open look from 3.
And McKinney has shot it at 39% from 3 this season. Nice turn from Zaya Cook around the corner. And she's the first player in double figures today. Here's Howard. Quick turn and a connection on a 3.
She just needs a little bit of space. Grissett barely got held up on that screen. Howard was barely even squared up, still able to drain the shot.
Deep catch, Boston, and that is going to be an offensive foul against Aaliyah Boston, and that will be her first personal. Well, Ryan Howard, Aaliyah Boston have both been monsters this season and thus far in their collegiate careers, but very quiet today. Howard starting to awaken these last couple possessions. She has scored Kentucky's last 6. Wyatt gives it back. Patterson, step back jumper, way off. Gets her own rebound, can't float it in, and Boston secures her 8th board. In transition, Cook gets denied, and it's out of bounds off of Kentucky.
Really nice job by Massengill to get back. We talked about it before. She's 6 feet tall and long. It looked like South Carolina had numbers, but right there, nice block by Massengill.
In the corner, Cook got free. Can't hit from 3. Ami here, another offensive rebound. That is the 15th offensive rebound of the first half for South Carolina. Henderson can't turn it into points. It's out of bounds off of Ami here. And it is going to be Kentucky basketball with the shot clock turned off and 26.5 to go in the second quarter.
Just saw the graphic. That's been the story of the game so far. Offensive rebounds, second chance points for South Carolina.
Howard letting the clock wind. Shooing away Wyatt. Now Wyatt comes with a screen. 7 seconds left in the quarter. Howard out of the double. Finds Wyatt to the wing. A 3 is good for Massengill at the buzzer to make this a much closer 4-point game at the half. South Carolina, a 34-30 lead on Kentucky as we start the third quarter. You see the numbers from that first half. Kentucky did shoot 5 of 10 from 3. South Carolina dominated the line, 10 of 18. Did not shoot well there, but had 18 attempts compared to Kentucky's 2. Brissett starting the second half as well and rolling it in. Rebecca, she is making the most of her senior day start.
Absolutely, and you saw the first possession of the game, Kentucky, or the half, Kentucky back into a man. South Carolina goes right at Ryan Howard with Brissett trying to pick up that third foul. Brissett able to score.
Howard step back, short, long rebound tracked beautifully by Patterson. McKinney dumps it to the elbow, and the jumper won't roll in from Tatiana Wyatt. Henderson blazing to the free throw line and an easy bucket.
I mean, she is so good at pushing pace, getting them into transition, getting South Carolina to play the pace they want to play.
And Kentucky's going to take a timeout right away. Did not like the way that third quarter started.
The hell is this place?
It's a clinic for people who don't want to go into the system.
Criminals.
Not only, other people too.
But she's dead. She's supposed to be dead, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's weird the way grief affects us in different ways, isn't it? Don't you think you've taken this far enough? I mean, where is this going to end?
Drop it! Oh. Beyond the Whiteboard, SEC Coaches Conversation airs tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Maria Taylor hosts along with 7 of the SEC's women's head basketball coaches to talk about racial injustice, black women in leadership, and the importance of sports trailblazers. Dawn Staley, as well as 𝗀𝗄𝗃𝘆, will be a part of that conversation. Really looking forward to it.
𝗀𝗃𝗃𝘆 saying, you know, we give people hope that you can have a seat at the table. We give other African American women hope that you can have a seat at the table. There is Coach 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝘆, and that's a picture of her son, Jackson Lander. He's 4 years old, and those are 2 of his classmates. They have a teacher coming to her house to teach pre-K 4, and she was saying that one of the girls in his class was telling her son, you know, girls run the world. My voice is my power, and I am going to use it. So little Jackson Lander's hearing it from mom. He's hearing it from the girls the women that she coaches, and he's hearing it from his 2 little 4-year-old classmates. I love it.
And I think we all know that his classmate is correct.
Of course we do.
So I'm glad Jackson is learning this early. Adorable. Here's Howard after the offensive foul against South Carolina. Howard hit 2 threes right at the end of the second quarter for her first points of the game. Dishes to the corner. McKinney off on a 3, and the weak side board taken by Henderson, just zipping up the floor. Hook now into the lane, hooks it up short, and that's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow belongs to Kentucky.
The pressure, though, that Henderson and Cook can put on you in transition. You know, you better get down the floor. And it's one of the reasons teams that go against South Carolina, they can't attack their own offensive glass because they are so worried about getting back in defensive transition. Kentucky with 4 offensive boards in this game to South Carolina's 15.
Kentucky yet to score this half. Massengill looking inside. Good look underneath. Wyatt able to finish on a hard delivery from McKinney.
Really nice high-low look, and a great job by Wyatt. The little pump fake, get the defender off her feet so you can't get your shot blocked.
Henderson giving it up. Getting it back. Working on Howard, fading away. Can't drop it in. And the foul's going the other way as 𝗀𝗍𝗃 went over the back. And that is going to be the second foul on 𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗍𝗃. Hey, tonight, two of the association's top teams highlight our special NBA Sunday West Coast matchup on ESPN. James Harden and the Red Hot Nets finish up a big 5-game road trip against Kawhi and the Clippers. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with NBA Countdown. Nets on a 5-game winning streak. They are 4-0 thus far on their 5-game West Coast road trip. Clippers just back healthy. That should be a really fun game tonight. Shot clock at 5. Massengill kicks off the hands of Edwards, trying to retrieve. Shot clock fading, and it expires as Kentucky turns it over. Not a ton of turnovers for either team in this game, even though there's been a lack of fluidity at times on the offensive end. You saw just 6 turnovers for Kentucky, 5 for South Carolina. Boston will pull and hit. Offensive board. Saxton puts it in on the follow.
Saxton able just to reach right over McKinney without creating enough contact for a foul.
Howard tried to force the pass inside. Couldn't get it to the target. And Cook goes in for the bucket and the foul. Massengill with the little touch foul. And Cook has a chance for 3.
Great job by Cook here to garner the basketball. And you know they're going to push the other way. Ooh. Did she get her at all, Ryan? Maybe a tap on the head?
Sure. Well, that's what Massengill is contesting. 12 of South Carolina's 15 field goals have come in the paint in this game. They're now 11 of 19 from the line. They have an 11-point lead. Patterson had a little trouble with the handle. Edwards sets the screen, gets it on the roll, lost it, got it back. McKinney hits.
With the attention defensively that South Carolina is bringing when the ball goes in the paint, those mid-range jumpers are going to be there. Kentucky has to hit them.
Well, that foul is going to be on McKinney, and it will be her 3rd. Now 3 on Edwards, 3 on McKinney. Benton into the game as Massengill gets a breather. Massengill, 6 points thus far today. That floater is good. Destiny Henderson now at 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting.
You talk about South Carolina's ability to score in the paint, and you would think, oh, that must mean it's their bigs. No, it's their guards getting paint touches as well. That's the way it's been all season for them.
Edwards was able to finagle that into the hoop. Cook on the attack. There you go, Rebecca. Another guard, another bucket in the paint.
Patterson has quickness, but Cook certainly has the size and strength and just overpowered her there.
Howard gives it up. McKinney had a look there from 3, he didn't take it. Instead, a corner 3 is no good for Benton. That's going to be an over the back on Edwards. Her 4th foul will step aside. South Carolina by 11.
Guys, yay! A new phone's here. I switched to Spectrum Mobile. I'm saving money and I get 5G nationwide. It's literally the smartest thing I've ever done.
You split an atom with the soda bottle and 2 straws.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of an accident.
You found the 10th planet.
I mean, it was just a little bit of calculus.
You found a cure for hiccups.
Yeah, but nationwide 5G and I'm saving 40%? Come on. Oh, almost forgot. I figured out time travel, so we're gonna get nuts later.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile, get 5G nationwide, and save up to 40%. It's a better way to mobile. Spectrum Mobile.
Without the Beckers, who throws up a prayer three, back rim and in! Are you kidding? Wow. Answered prayer for the freshman Paige Beckers, and that could be the dagger.
Well, Paige Beckers with those two massive buckets, certainly storming into the National Player of the Year conversation. You see candidates from the top 10 teams. There are others from teams outside the top 10, like Ryan Howard, who we just saw, as well as Caitlin Clark, Naz Hillman, Rebecca. Feels like a wide open field. Anyone separating for you?
You know, we talked about it earlier in this game, how it feels like it's a little bit more wide open in terms of Final Four teams and national championship contenders. It feels the exact same way in the National Player of the Year conversation. I cannot remember a time when we had this big of a field that hadn't really started to narrow at this point in the season. And you see right there, Aaliyah Boston, certainly one of those players.
Yeah, it's incredible, and you wonder just how these next couple of weeks might end up shaping that conversation as the layup goes in for Olivia Owens. And
Kentucky extending their pressure defense now.
And nearly coming up with another turnover as South Carolina just got it across the timeline.
Kentucky trying to increase the pace of play. Also, when you pick up in full court pressure, it can give your own team more energy.
And a whistle here against Owens. That'll be her fourth. So, or make it her third. So 3 on Owens, 4 on Edwards, 3 on McKinney for Kentucky. $17 fouls on Kentucky to 7 against South Carolina so far today. South Carolina now 12 of 20 from the line.
It's all of Kentucky's bigs that are in foul trouble.
Howard has managed to avoid her third foul after picking up her second early in the second quarter. Patterson comes back for it. Good D. Mihir just jumping around to snatch it. Cook, little pull-up, too strong. Rebound taken by Kentucky and Benton. Here is Howard, zigging, zagging, dishing, and the rejection from Amihir to deny Owens.
But the right idea, looking to attack with Aaliyah Boston not on the floor. South Carolina has other shot blockers, but Boston is their best.
McKinney's jumper, too strong. And this is going to be a jump ball. South Carolina owns the possession arrow.
South Carolina leads the nation in block shots. Mihir gets in there, blocks. We've seen Aaliyah Boston all season long patrolling the paint. It allows them to take more chances in terms of their perimeter defense when they know they've got shot blockers behind them, cleaning things up.
4 blocks today for South Carolina. Kentucky actually with 8. Applying pressure again. Destiny Henderson was able to just spin right out of it. Reveal into the game for South Carolina. Boston back on the floor. The spin from Amihir and couldn't finish. Boston bats it alive, but Howard ends up with it for Kentucky. Here comes Howard. Howard lost the handle. Good D there from Bree Beal, and another jump ball. This time it's Kentucky who has the possession arrow.
Grissett at the start of the game, Bree Beal in her minutes have made things very difficult for Ryan Howard. Both are guards with good size who take a lot of pride in what they do on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, Howard just 2 for 7 from the floor.
I mean, great effort by Bree Beal. Oh, Howard lands right on her head.
Howard was probably fortunate to get a jump ball called there rather than a foul.
Yeah.
Benton got hand checked on the drive by Henderson. Second foul on Destiny Henderson. And this is going to be a non-shooting foul on that drive. Oh, nice inbound play there that freed up Owens for the easy layup. Henderson meets a wall, can't finish. Ami here amongst the trees. And it's going to be another jump ball. South Carolina with the possession arrow this time.
And Destiny Henderson and her quickness and ability to get touches in the paint. She doesn't get the shot to go, but it distorts the defense and allows another offensive board by South Carolina.
And now a steal on the inbound creates an opportunity in transition. Massengill, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Kentucky. South Carolina ball. Boy, Kentucky has just really struggled executing in transition throughout this game.
You can't give post players, when they're running full speed, the ball in too tight quarters.
And now Kentucky comes up with a steal on the inbound. Howard with Kentucky down 9. McKinney tried to dump it in. Ami here went for the steal and came up with it.
How disruptive has Ami here been in the third quarter?
And Cook finishes plus the foul. A chance for 3 for Zia Cook as South Carolina continues to rumble in transition.
And that last possession shows you what's so good about South Carolina. Tough defense, helping one another, and then pushing the other way, getting out in transition. Cook inside with the and one.
"17 points for Zia Cook. Dawn Staley told us before the game was pressing to score, just needs to relax, needs to make her layups. Rebecca, she has to be encouraged by the performance here today.
Without question, and I liked how Zia Cook from the start of this game was looking to be aggressive, but going to the rim. She wasn't taking pull-up jumpers. She's found a flow, done a really nice job offensively.
Benton lost it. Boston has it. 2-on-1. Cook to Henderson for the layup. South Carolina, its largest lead of the game. It has swelled to 14.
South Carolina is one of the best defensive teams in the country, and on nights when they might struggle to score in their half court, they can make a difference on this end of the floor. They get a steal, a run out. They're quick guards, always looking to push. Great outlet pass by Aaliyah Boston. Unselfish basketball. Great finish by Henderson.
Let's take a look at our McDonald's All-American Spotlight for Zia Cook. 18 points in this game. 6 of 14 from the floor, has been able to use speed and physicality, and has really been consistent throughout the afternoon, leading the charge for South Carolina.
Yeah, certainly. And this is a point of the season where you need your scorers and your guns to find their rhythm and to be able to relax and to not press. And it seems like Zia Cook is working her way out of that.
6 turnovers in the quarter for Kentucky. South Carolina has 10 points off of those turnovers. Every one of South Carolina's field goals in this third quarter has come in the paint. Shot clock at 5. Patterson scoops it in. Boston trapped in the backcourt. Gives it up to Henderson. Anderson jogs it across. 10 seconds left in the third. Anderson around the screen. Gives it up. Cook! You bet! Zia Cook with a fitting end to the third. Connecting from downtown. No one's going to want to see.
No. Their ability to score the ball, especially when they're hot from the three-point line and get to the free throw line in the NCAA tournament, they could cause some problems for people.
San Antonio's going to be wild and unpredictable, which is not usually how people describe the city of San Antonio. In the corner, the jumper is good. Nothing on the San Antonio line, huh, Rebecca? I guess you do think it's wild and unpredictable as a city.
I'm sorry, I was talking to our producer. I didn't hear you. And it's going to be only more so, Ryan, during COVID with you and I there.
That's right. Good recovery. Out of bounds.
Kentucky now in a 1-2-2 zone, you know, trying to find a way to prevent points in the paint, trying to find a way to get to the defensive boards. And offensively, they need to find a way to get Ryan Howard going. She is their best chance to cut into this 13-point deficit.
Yeah, Howard has no points in this second half as she gets fouled here and finally has a chance to crack that as she'll go to the line. But remember, I mean, Howard's 6 points, they came on 2 threes at the end of the second quarter. For the most part, she has been completely shut down by South Carolina.
South Carolina's defense has been outstanding. Grissett to start the game. Beal when she's come in, and Herman. It's again, they are both big guards who pride themselves on the defensive end of the floor, but I think Ryan Howard needs to look to be more aggressive. I like that she just went into the paint looking to score, but keep in mind, when you have early foul trouble, that can mess with you. That can affect your aggressiveness throughout the course of the game.
$11-point South Carolina lead. South Carolina just had their 31-game SEC winning streak snapped against Tennessee last time out. Cook kicks it out. Henderson connects on a three.
And a really good decision by Zia Cook. She got inside. She doesn't force a shot or a pass. Makes the perfect pass out.
Cook zipping into the lane, can't finish. The follow won't go from Ami here. She stumbles to the ground and travels.
She's brought some really good things. Ami here has brought some really nice things off the bench. And Ryan, a couple weeks ago when we did a South Carolina game, Dawn Staley was trying to find more answers off the bench. Tonight Grissett started, but usually she's been coming off the bench really good. Ami here is also finding her way off the bench for South Carolina.
Howard was trying to get back in bounds to become available. Now she, I believe, hit her face on the floor. Hey, tomorrow it's Big Monday on ESPN. First up at 7 p.m., Syracuse is at Cameron Indoor to take on Duke. Then at 9 p.m., number 15, Texas Tech faces Cade Cunningham and Oklahoma State. See if Howard is all right after looked like banged her shin on the floor. But it has undoubtedly been a frustrating afternoon for Ryan Howard. 2 of 7 from the floor. This has not been involved the way she normally is, as Boston could say the same, as that is her first field goal of the game.
And look at the smile. I mean, one of the things that consistently impresses me about Aaliyah Boston is she doesn't get frustrated. If she doesn't get a lot of touches on the offensive end, she still attacks the offensive boards every time. She still works hard. She still encourages her teammates. She does all of the little things and stays engaged even when she doesn't get a bunch of looks offensively.
Now, the flip side of things for Ryan Howard, Rebecca, one of the things that 𝘀𝗲𝗍𝘆 talked about was, first 2 years she didn't know if Ryan's vocal cords worked, and now she feels like she's getting more comfortable sort of embracing that vocal leadership role that comes along with being the best player on the team. It was a challenge that she issued to Ryan.
She said she talked to her too after their loss to Tennessee, and she told Ryan, you cannot visibly show your frustration. That lets your teammates down. And she said that really cut Ryan to the core. She felt terrible about that. And I think she's done a better job here today, Ryan, in terms of her frustrations and not letting it visibly affect her body language on the floor.
McKinney can't hit the jumper. Rebound flagged down by Henderson. The backcourt of South Carolina has had a wonderful afternoon between Cook and Henderson, accounting for 35 of South Carolina's points, just the two of them, and you see the backcourt advantage overall for the Gamecocks. Amir hops into a little bunny.
Just solid. She's been really, really solid offensively and defensively here today.
She is just 2 points away from a double-double. The lead is 18, the largest of the game for South Carolina. Patterson kicks it out. McKinney with 5 to shoot, lost the handle. Massengill, no.
That possession showed you why Aaliyah Boston is one of the favorites for Defensive Player of the Year. Nice pass inside to Ami here. That last possession, Aaliyah Boston switched out onto the point guard, didn't let her go by, and still got the defensive board.
A 20-point South Carolina lead here in the fourth.
Hey, Paula. Hi, John. I hear your interior design firm has been having some internet issues.
We do a lot of online design consultations, and our internet lags a lot.
It makes for very frustrated clients.
You should switch to Spectrum Business. You get fast internet at a great low price. 200 megabits per second for $49.99 a month. You can add business phone for $19.99 a month.
That is half of what we pay now.
Until they add in the hidden fees.
Spectrum Business has no hidden fees. What you see is what you pay. Call 855-344-4144.
Okay, wait. It has to be reliable.
Spectrum Business has over 99.9% network reliability. And you can add wireless internet backup for constant connectivity, even if the power goes out.
Ooh.
All right, that's impressive.
What's even more impressive is the value. 200 megabits per second for $49.99 a month, and add business phone for just $19.99 a month. Call 855-344-4144 today.
Let's take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. And how about the afternoon from Zia Cook, Rebecca?
Yeah, she has been really good. Aggressive to the basket from the beginning of this game. 21 points. She's let her shot come to her. 2 of 5 from 3. Impressed with the way she approached this game from the jump.
We started this game talking about Ryan Howard and Aaliyah Boston. They've combined for just 12 points. But South Carolina has dominated in second chance points, a 16-0 advantage. They're currently on a 9-0 run and have built a 20-point lead over Kentucky with 6:08 to go in this fourth quarter.
You have to have size when you go against South Carolina and depth in the post, because they are relentless going to the glass. And Kentucky exacerbated that early by getting players in foul trouble, including Ryan Howard. But it is so hard going against South Carolina, because it's not just sometimes that they crash the boards, it's every single time.
They are a plus 17 on the glass in this game. And they have 19 offensive rebounds. Howard spins, draws 2, finds some help, gets it back. Howard cradles, cups, and gets fouled.
I think she should keep attacking. We saw her a few possessions ago, got to the rim here, gets the foul called. I know it's hard. South Carolina's playing very, very good defense on her, but I like it when she's gotten in the paint looking to attack.
You know what I think, Rebecca?
What do you think, Ryan?
I think Kentucky might need some Thomas Russian, your son, magic, because from what I hear, he hit the game-tying 3 today and then the game-winning 2 in overtime. That's what I hear.
I'm getting these updates on 7th grade boys basketball. It's exciting stuff.
I was pumped, and I saw the highlights. Ridiculous step back to free himself. I mean, his mom's a Hall of Famer, so I should expect it.
He's been watching Ryan Howard and 𝗀𝗃 Cook here today.
Exactly. Howard now up to 10 points after the free throw. See if Kentucky has a burst left in them. Down 18. Henderson can't hit the 3. Another offensive rebound. 𝗀𝗱𝗱𝘆 on senior day has been so effective on the interior.
I've been so impressed with her today. Getting her first start of the season. Offensively really good, but she's had the tough defensive assignment of being on Howard all day.
Henderson pedals it forward. Under 5 minutes to go in the fourth, and South Carolina a 20-point lead on Kentucky as Dawn Staley steps up to direct traffic.
That's a huge South Carolina lineup, by the way, with Bree Beal playing the 2. You see Ame here taking it there inside as the 4, Boston as the 5, 𝗀𝗱𝗃 as the 3. This is a huge lineup for South Carolina.
When you think about different teams across the country, Rebecca, who do you think of size-wise that can match up with South Carolina, especially when they're playing big?
Baylor is one of them. Baylor has nice depth in the post and size. Tennessee was one, and that was one of the reasons they were able to beat South Carolina in their last game. They didn't out-rebound South Carolina, but they were even on the boards, and that's always huge when you go against the Gamecocks. Stanford, another team with good size and depth in the post.
And you saw that little promo pop up in the top of your screen. Arizona, Stanford. Tomorrow should be an awesome game. Boston nearly yanked it away, but they got called for the foul. And that'll be number 3 on Aaliyah Boston. Stanford, Arizona, of course, will feature Arie McDonald, one of those Player of the Year candidates, Rebecca. And you take a look at her WNBA draft status. ESPN's mock draft has her going 8th in this upcoming WNBA draft.
Yeah, player with terrific quickness, a tremendous defensive player, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year a season ago. She can get after it offensively. Now, when Arizona and Stanford met the first time around, Arizona really struggled, and Stanford was able to get a big lead early and hold on to it. But Arizona has given teams trouble on the defensive end of the floor. If they can continue to find players to complement McDonald on the offensive end, whether that's Kate Reese or Sam Thomas, they can give Stanford a run.
To be here. Finds the cutter, 𝗀𝗱𝗃, another layup. 𝗀𝗃 with 13 points, 6 rebounds. That 3 too strong. Lands in the lap of Massengill. This was a 4-point game at the half, but South Carolina has dominated the third and fourth quarters. Patterson flips it up and off. Another rebound for Ame here, her 12th to go with 12 points. 𝗀𝗃 was fouled on the floor by Edwards, and that'll be number 5 on Edwards, so she is fouled out.
I'm always happy for seniors who play well on their senior day. And Lily Grissett has certainly done that. And on an afternoon when Aaliyah Boston only has 4 points, South Carolina still has 4 players in double-figure scoring, Grissett being one of them.
Edwards has fouled out. Kentucky does not have a field goal in the last 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Henderson whips it out. That three, no good from Russell. As South Carolina can start to think about emptying the bench. As you see how long Kentucky's gone without a field goal now. More than 7 minutes. Howard on the drive, gets rejected by Grissett. Henderson tried to thread the needle. It deflected to a knee here, and Howard will finally collect it. Just 2 field goals on the day for Howard, as Wyatt can't stick that.
You hear Aaliyah Boston screaming ice, and her teammate didn't respond initially, so she screams it again. That's a player, a young player, a sophomore, a captain of this team, finding her voice in a big way as well.
South Carolina turns it over with 1:48 to go in this fourth. And a really strong bounce back performance after falling to Tennessee. Boston checks out, and as Rebecca said, may not have had the scoring touch today, but did not affect vocality or the smile of Aaliyah Boston.
Or certainly the impact on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, she can switch out onto guards. She is always in the back of the players' minds because they know they've got a shot blocker inside. The numbers certainly do not always reflect the impact that Aaliyah Boston has on the ball game.
Howard can't hit from 3. Another rebound for Ami here, her 13th. And a whistle underneath against Kentucky. Rebecca, how does Kentucky move forward after this game? What's an important lesson for them to learn today that might help 𝗀𝗄 𝗆𝗄's team the rest of the way?
Well, certainly it's another emphasis on the importance of boxing out and defensive rebounding. The importance to Ryan Howard specifically that you can't take silly second fouls, give up the 2 points, so that you don't put yourself on the bench. And then, of course, to her teammates to know, how vitally important they are offensively, especially when Ryan Howard is going to be drawing so much defensive attention.
Russell draws the foul and will go to the line.
But the game certainly changed, Ryan, when Howard got her second foul and had to come out. That's when South Carolina really started to start their run and go on a run, and she's got to make sure she doesn't pick those up. Give up the 2 points. It's just 2 points, and you got to stay on the floor.
They went on a 10-0 run as soon as Howard checked out. And a game that had been a one-possession game changed as Dawn Staley has a little conversation with Ryan. Howard gets fouled, and Ryan Howard's going to shoot 2.
First time these teams met, Ryan Howard had 32 points. South Carolina simply couldn't stop her, whether it was pull-ups off of ball screens or whatever. And we just saw an example of what she can do so well. Just a quick look off a ball screen at 6'2". She can see over the defenders, but not able to get it going here offensively today.
Yeah, I like talking to 𝗀𝗄 𝗆𝗄 about Ryan. She said, it just always looks effortless. I'll joke with her sometimes and say, did you break a sweat today?
She said, I'll say that when I really want to get under her skin.
Yeah. "50 seconds to go in this one." Off the steal, the layup too strong from Roach. And now about a 15-second differential game and shot clock. Russell goes to the reverse and able to scoop it in. Well, South Carolina has outscored Kentucky 42-22 in this second half. Howard, hoist, can't hit. Roach can't get it to drop either, and a chance for three with 1.9 to go on the putback. As Aaliyah Boston and Lily Grissett have some fun. Senior day for Grissett. Big time performance from her, jumping into the starting lineup for the first time this season. Wyatt completes the three-point play. And that will do it. An impressive bounce-back win from South Carolina as they take down Kentucky 76-55, the final. Rebecca, Dawn Staley talked about being very unhappy with her team giving up 50 points in the second half against Tennessee. Well, much different second half here. Gave up just 25 in the second half to Kentucky. Big time